Spooktober's here, and with every dusk, Eerie Instants unveils a new tale. 31 days, 31 stories. Hit subscribe and journey into the unknown with us. Amidst the vastness of Harvest Hollow, I stood for years, a lone sentinel amidst a sea of golden cornstalk. Tonight was different. Tonight, I felt. It was an unfamiliar tug, an echo of a time long lost. Somewhere between the world of the living and the forgotten, I found myself on this eerie Halloween night. My straw fingers twitched, a sensation alien yet oddly familiar. The rusty post that held me aloft for years creaked in protest as I shifted, trying to make sense of this sudden consciousness. How long had I been here? Decades? Centuries? The weight of countless seasons bore down on me. My ragged clothes fluttered, revealing the decay of time. But it wasn't just the fabric and straw that bore the scars of abandonment. It was deeper, an emotional tether binding me to this desolate field. I could hear distant laughter. Children, dressed as ghouls and witches, raced past the boundaries of my cornfield. Their joy was infectious, pulling me momentarily from my own contemplation. Then, my gaze settled on him, the farmer. He had aged, his hair now streaked with silver, but I recognized him, the one who erected me with such pride all those years ago. The one who left me to the mercy of time and elements. The seeds of betrayal sprouted within, intertwining with the newfound life force coursing through me. Wind whispered through the cornstalks, a sibilant chorus narrating tales of Halloween's past. But tonight, they whispered my story, the tale of a guardian abandoned, left to face the wrath of nature and time. And with each gust, I felt a pull, a force urging me to move, to seek retribution. With considerable effort, I managed to free one leg, then another. Each step was laborious, the ground unfamiliar beneath my straw feet. My journey had begun, driven not by reason, but by an overwhelming desire to confront my neglector. My surroundings seemed both familiar and foreign. The cornfield, once my dominion, now stretched out like a labyrinth, hiding secrets and memories in its shadows. The revelers in the distance appeared to be celebrating, their lanterns casting ghostly glows, their laughter a stark contrast to the storm brewing within me. As I moved closer, the festivities grew louder. A child pointed towards me, her eyes wide with a mix of wonder and fear. But I wasn't here for her. My focus remained unwavering, my intent clear. The farmer had to know, had to feel the weight of his abandonment. I trudged forward, each step pulling at my straw-filled limbs, yet an unseen force drove me onward. The frayed ropes that once bound me to my post hung loosely, swinging with every movement. The fields around me, once my domain, now seemed like an alien world. My once clear view was replaced by towering cornstalks, their tips shimmering in the moonlight, creating a maze of shadows. The echoing laughter and gleeful shouts pulled me closer to the heart of the town. Lanterns dotted the streets, casting dancing lights that turned every corner into a spectacle of colors and silhouettes. Costumes blurred together in a swirl of merriment. Witches, werewolves, and wailing ghosts. Yet none were as terrifying as the reality of me. A scarecrow come to life, hungering for recognition. As I moved stealthily through the alleyways, I sensed a presence nearby. There, away from the heart of the festivities, stood a young woman. Elise, I recalled, from fragmented memories of townsfolk conversations. She looked lost in thought, perhaps intoxicated by the evening's joy, her gaze distant and lips curving into a half-smile.
Beautiful night, isn't it?
She murmured, seemingly to herself. But as she turned to leave, her eyes caught my form. The smile vanished. Her breath caught in her throat, and her eyes, wide with terror, darted from my weathered hat to the tattered remnants of my clothes.
No, this isn't real.
She whispered, taking a shaky step backward. She might have screamed, run, or called for help, but something about my presence held her captive. It was as though she was ensnared by an unseen thread, her will bending to mine. "You," I rasped, my voice hollow and echoing. "Come with me." Elise didn't resist. She followed, her steps robotic, her eyes never leaving mine. We ventured further into the cornfields, away from the revelry, away from prying eyes. The whispers of the wind grew louder, a haunting lullaby that spoke of sorrow and revenge. Each step took us deeper into my realm, the realm of forgotten memories and festering anger. As we moved, the moonlight shifted, revealing new paths among the corn stalks and concealing others. Elise's earlier fear seemed to ebb, replaced by a trance-like acceptance. Maybe it was the pull of my rage, or perhaps it was the realization that resistance was futile. The heart of the field awaited us, a place where the moon's glow was brightest, casting the most defined of shadows. There, amidst the rustling corn, stood a vacant post, eerily familiar to my old one, its ropes fresh and inviting. Elise approached it, her hands reaching out, touching the wood, feeling its rough texture. Her face was a mask of resignation, understanding the fate that awaited her. Without a word, she positioned herself, waiting. The transformation was swift. One moment she stood there, a living, breathing human, and the next she was a scarecrow. Her essence captured, her form replaced by straw and fabric. A chilling replica of what I once was. With my task complete, I turned back towards the town. The festivities had dwindled, the laughter reduced to a distant echo. My focus was sharper, my intent clearer. The farmer would be next. The hazy horizon began to reveal the first hints of dawn. Time was slipping away, and I could feel the pull of the impending sunrise. It would be a race against the first rays, a chase to fulfill my purpose before daybreak. The whispered promises of revenge echoed in my straw-filled head, each rustle of my fabric a testament to my conviction. The village's frantic energy buzzed like a swarm of hornets. Word had spread about Elise's disappearance, and the streets were awash with lanterns, their feeble lights dancing amidst the darkness. I kept to the shadows, a silent sentinel, witnessing their fear, tasting their panic. It was intoxicating. As I navigated the outskirts, I could see the farmer's home in the distance, its windows glowing like the eyes of a prey unaware of the predator's approach. Drawing closer, I could hear muffled voices inside, fearful, urgent discussions about the events of the night. Slipping through the rows of corn, I reached the rear of his abode. The back door creaked open, and there he was, the very symbol of my betrayal. The farmer's face was ashen, his hands trembling as he clutched a lantern. He seemed to sense a presence, and as he slowly turned, our gazes locked. His eyes widened in horror.
"You,"
he stammered, taking a few steps back, nearly dropping his lantern. "Yes," I rasped, my voice a mixture of the wind and dried leaves. "Did you think you could abandon me? Leave me to decay without consequence?" His bravado crumbled, replaced by pure, unadulterated fear.
I didn't know. How could I?"
"How could you indeed?" I moved closer, each step filled with purpose. The farmer stumbled backward, his retreat hindered by the thick corn stalks. The chase was swift, the outcome inevitable. I cornered him in the heart of the field, the same place where he had once proudly erected me. With the moonlight casting an ethereal glow, I towered over him, feeling an overwhelming sense of power. This was my moment of reckoning. With a quick motion, my straw arms reached out, ensnaring him. His screams were desperate, but they were quickly drowned out by the early chirps of the awakening birds. As the first rays of dawn began to break, the transformation was complete. Where the farmer once stood, another scarecrow now stood sentinel, forever bound to the field he had once overseen. I felt a pang of satisfaction, but with the rising sun, my newfound power waned, my consciousness starting to fade. As the world around me blurred, I took one last look at my handiwork scarecrows that bore a striking resemblance to the town's inhabitants, now dotted the expansive field. The sun ascended, and I became still once more, a mere scarecrow amidst the corn. But the echoes of the night's events would haunt Harvest Hollow forever.